Hey guys, did it ever happen to you that you wanted to set up a nice, simple analog pad sound on your WaveState, but you just didn't know where to start? You had all these cool wave sequences and multisamples at your fingertips, but where is this one simple waveform that fulfills the needs to become the ingredient for your next super pad? Well, in this video I show you one technique how to set up an analog pad on your WaveState from scratch without using any wave sequences. Okay, so the first thing, I go to the performance menu and scroll completely to the top until it says Init Performance. I press enter and then we have the complete clean setup with only one layer selected, in our case one oscillator. So to start with choosing the waveforms, I press this tiny button and I want to change wave sequence to multisample. And because we only work now with multisamples in this case with our pad sound. Okay, now we are in the multisample mode. And when I go down now to the multisample line, I just press enter and the magic happens. The waveform list pops open, and the cool thing is now I can define which category I want to look at by just pressing one of these buttons. You see, we have a guitar category, electric piano. We have strings, and on button 3, I think, yeah, it's the Synthesizer category. So I am scrolling down until I find the right waveforms, and I'm looking for the sawtooth waves. It's called saw here. Yeah, you see, saw. And I think I'm gonna take the sawtooth down Prophet 5. I press enter and see now we have a simple sawtooth sound from the Prophet 5. Okay, quick thing, I'm gonna turn down the cutoff frequency. Okay, and I'm gonna pull open the envelope intensity. So I'm going to give it a slight attack. Pull down the sustain a bit. And maybe even a bit less cut off. That's not so bad. I will increase the release time in the filter, let's say to 10-11 seconds, and then I might want to go to the amp section and I will put open the release time a bit to, let's say, 3 seconds. Maybe even decrease the release of the filter again a bit to, that's long. Yeah, that's better. You know, then the shorter the release time of the filter, the better you hear the filter closing when you release the keys. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is I will activate the delay. And it's not so dry, you know. It's nice. I will add a chorus. I will add a stereo chorus. Oh, listen to that. Yeah, that's beautiful. And now I want to pan this sound a bit to the left. To do that, I press Shift and turn this little friend here to the left. Let's say around 50 something. Guys, if you like my videos, hit subscribe and the notification button, because that will definitely help me to produce a lot more of this kind of videos. By the way, if you're interested in more WaveState sounds, I made a complete sound set for the WaveState called The Sounds of the Trevor Horn Era. It contains patches and wave sequences of 7 world-famous productions made by him and also productions from the time. I will put the link in the description of the video. The next thing is I want to define a controller now that I can control the cutoff frequency of both layers with. So to do that I press the right arrow, and it says add a modulation. And I move this cutoff controller a tiny bit, and then the source, which will be the shape knob, this will be our controller afterwards for controlling the cutoff frequency. I press enter, and the only thing I have to tell the WaveState is now how much the intensity of the cutoff controller will be. Let's make this 30 something. And now you can control the cutoff frequency with the shape knob. Now we'll copy the first oscillator in the editor program, because it's a bit easier to do it this way than on the WaveState itself. So I press copy layer and paste it to my next layer, to layer B. And now I have exactly the same layer. Let me make some slight adjustments. First thing, I'm gonna pan the second oscillator to the right a bit. Let me check this. Yeah, it's 50. And I want to change the sound a little bit, the waveform. So I select layer B and I press this button. And now I want to look for maybe a square waveform. Where are the square waveforms? Yeah, I want to find the square wave of the Prophet 5. That's great. Okay, let me adjust the equalizer a little bit. To do that, I activate the master EQ in the editor software, and I make a cut at 100 Hertz for, let's say, 14 dB, because I don't like these muddy pads. That way I can eliminate the low mids and too many bass frequencies. Okay, let me adjust the attack a bit. Yeah, it can be a bit longer, the attack. I add a bit of release. Hey, my tongue. I add a bit of resonance, that you get this wow sound. Maybe pull back the cutoff a bit from both layers. And again, I will use the editor software to detune both oscillators a bit against each other. So the layer A and layer B, yeah, I detune this to plus 0.08 and this to minus 0.08. And you will notice that you have a nice spreading, bit detuned pad. And of course now you can play around with the release time a bit. And you can make this even longer. It's no, not the velocity, the release time. It always depends on the tempo of the song. Let's make this 4 seconds maybe. This oscillator also 4 seconds. I mean, you can even play around with the waveforms again. You can also make, of course, a complete sawtooth pad. I can demonstrate that. I select layer B, go again to the multisample screen, and I just take another sawtooth sound for the second oscillator. You see, you do not need a lot of steps to make your own little library of patches in the WaveState. I think once you get to know which waveforms you need for certain sounds, you will be actually quite fast in programming your own patches. And after a while you will have your own little banks of analog sounds like Jupiter 8 brasses or Juno 60 pads. You will see. And guys, that's it from me for today. If you have questions, put them in the comment section below, and I hope to see you in my next video.